Are you ready to be successful on Etsy? What is up, you guys? Welcome to an exciting talk show brought to you by Merchandise, your trusted buddy for all things print on demand. Well, for those of you who haven't heard of us, stop spending your time in the wrong places. Just take a minute, swing by our website, merchandise.com, to see over 600 products, all types of services. Welcome to an exciting talk show brought to you by Merchandise. And Min, by the way, and joining with me today is the lovely Mia.
Hi.
Well, for those of you who haven't heard of us, wonderful insights that she will share with you later on. So hang tight, because today, you guys, stop spending your time in the wrong place today for weeks. Because today we have a fantastic session lined up with a true rock star of Etsy. I know you already know that I'm talking about who, right? So our guest for today is the famous Josh Mcconnell, who has cracked the code to building a thriving print-on-demand business on Etsy. So whether you are just starting out or looking to level up places, you guys take a minute, definitely swing by our website, merchandise.com. So without further ado, over 600 products, shall we? All types of services. Hey Josh, I'm all dedicated to this talk show. How are you doing today? By the way, joining with me
I'm good.
today.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Sure. And before we dive in, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your journey? How did you start on spending your time in the waiting for today for weeks?
I've always had businesses ever since I was in pretty much the third grade. So I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Always launched different things, and starting in 2019, right before that, I had a cell phone company. I was selling cell phone cases. It was making pretty good money, but not enough. So I took that leather from the cell phone case, threw it on Etsy, and just blew up pretty much overnight. From there, I built a huge business, had warehouses, had employees running around for me, and then I discovered print on demand around 2022, 2023, and then I fell in love with that. Because I didn't need all that extra, pretty much space of the warehouse, the constant battle of shipping things yourself. So, I mean, pretty much that's the overall gist of it, of where I started, how I became this, and where I am today. I mean, I made millions of dollars online on Etsy, and I love what I do, and now I'm giving back and teaching people. So
I'm
good. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Sure. And just before we dive in, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your journey?
I really honestly wish that I would have found it in 2019 instead of dealing with a bunch of warehouses. But it's never too late. So.
Sure. I just want to talk about the platform just a little bit. Well, it's a massive platform filled with millions of buyers and sellers as well. But it can feel overwhelming for some, especially newcomers, right? So just educate us just a little bit here. Why Etsy? What make it a go-to platform for you in the first place?
So the one thing is, a lot of people think that it's maybe oversaturated, there's too many customers and things like that. But if you really look at the grand scheme of things, eBay, for instance, has 2 billion. Didn't need
how you doing extra.
Amazon has pretty much space of the warehouse. The constant battle of shipping million listings in eBay, 600 million pretty much on Amazon. That's the overall Etsy only has 60 million. Where I started, how I became so much range, if you think of it that way, that it's 10x more on other platforms. And most people, when they think about, like, say, personalization and customized products, the first thing that comes to their mind isn't eBay or Amazon. It literally is Etsy, because it's more of a customization type of feeling, personal, one-on-one.
Yeah, I love mentioning, personalization and customization. So, well, from what I understand is that Etsy is a go-to market for millions of buyers, right? So they are looking for, unique, handmade accessory and decoration in general. So what if a newcomer just start their journey on Etsy? What will be the first things you would suggest them do there?
So the first thing is completely understanding your audience. If you know who you're selling to and what they want, you can make unbelievable amounts of money as quick as possible. You really want to stick with that one audience and demographic as well. You don't want to have too many listings that are all over the place, targeting young adults and then young children and older people, because they all shop differently. So the first thing is to understand who you want to sell to, and then from there design for that customer. Once you know who you're selling to and you're designing for them, and they start purchasing, you know exactly what to create, and you're going to create more of it, and then that's when you're going to get the money in your pocket.
So you must first be the buyer before you become a seller. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you know who you're selling to, that's where the money is. I mean, if you really think about it, anybody, you have Nike, Adidas, things like that. Who do they sell to? They know who their core audience is. That's why they make the amount of money that they do. Same thing for Lululemon, they know who they're selling to, right? So if you create a product and you want to make the unbelievable amount of money, you need to know who your audience is. You're making the designs for them, not yourself, but for that audience itself.
Yes, yes, those are great. So before we move on, what's the one thing that you wish you knew before you started selling on Etsy?
The one thing I wish I knew is pretty much what I just said, is don't design for yourself.
Okay, sure.
Because what happens is you get stuck on designing and making those designs, and you let your ego step in the way. So you think that you made this amazing design that's going to sell and make all this money, and when it doesn't, you kind of get upset. But that's where we have to step back and remember that we're selling to them and it's what they like, not what we like. So if I can, go back in time, I would have liked to get rid of products and designs faster, because it wasn't what the core audience wanted. And because of that, it kind of drug me down.
Sure. Well, design is a really interesting topic. We'll come back to that later. Well, I mean, well, design is that's goal for anyone that's starting out. So now, success on Etsy, from what I understand, often comes down to finding the right niche. Is that correct? Well,
Yes.
which brings us to the next topic of like a really long agenda today. Well, how to research a niche. So finding a profitable niche is like striking gold in print-on-demand business on Etsy. Well, you have clearly mastered this. So can you walk us through your process of researching and validating a niche to ensure it has demand?
Yes, so once you find out the audience, then you kind of know them. So from there, you can figure out, okay, what do they like the most? The three niches that I typically stay in for print on demand is weddings, birthdays, and babies. There's always a wedding happening, there's always a baby being born, and there's always a birthday. So it's easy thing to target. And then from there, if you're going after babies, what are they, what are the parents going to get for that baby? That's what's going to help you with your niche. Same thing with weddings. What are people going to get for the weddings? They want personalization. They want something that's either for their wedding day or a housewarming gift. And then that's how you determine, okay, this is my niche. These are the products that I'm going to offer. And this is the style that I'm going to offer.
Sure. Well, it's great that you're mentioning baby. So I understand that, well, for Christmas and Mother's Day, Father's Day, right? There are dates. But is there any kind of like date for like baby? I mean, like, is there a season for you to sell baby stuff? Is there a baby, occasion?
So with babies, it happens pretty much all year. But with weddings is a huge one during the summer and spring. So spring and summer is when weddings really take off. So they're like just skyrocketing right now. And then during the fall and winter, they kind of fall down. For babies, it is up and down here and there, but it kind of levels out. However, during the winter time, there is a lot more, and it's mainly because people are purchasing it for gifts.
Sure. So what you're saying is that, well, the niche is one thing and the timing as well. Should we sell the wedding stuff like exclusively in the spring and summer? Because you said that's the wedding season, right?
Yes, and I have multiple shops because I have them all separated so that it's easier to maintain, because the SEO for each one is going to be different. The way that somebody shops for a gift for their, a friend's birthday or their spouse's birthday is completely different than somebody that's shopping for, say, a baby.
Sure, definitely, yeah. Well, I'm curious, how do you balance between following trends and finding an evergreen niche that works for you? I mean, well, we have evergreen niche, like you said, babies, right? Is all year round. But for weddings, well, I'm not a seller, so I don't really know about that. So yeah, just educate us a little bit here. So how do you balance?
I try to stay away from trends just because what happens is they come and go. You never know what's going to happen. And the great thing about, all the products that you guys offer is you don't have to stick with a trend. You have things that nobody else is offering, which makes you stand out in any niche that you want to go after. But if you go after a certain trend, what happens is as soon as you jump on that trend, it could disappear tomorrow and you don't know. So now you're constantly chasing money. Whereas if we take, say baby clothes, you guys offer a ton of things for teachers, which really blows up nonstop. I mean, teachers are always looking for things like the little wooden, the decal, the little wooden one where it says Mrs. and then the name. I mean, that right there is perfect. And you could sell that all year round as a gift or before, school starts, after school starts, doing different journals, things like that. I mean, that's what's going to really set you apart.
Sure. Well, I think I have an audience question over here. Guys, if you have any question, just leave it until the end. Yeah. I can see a really great question over here. Well, um, evergreen niche is good, right? But is following trend bad on Etsy?
It's not bad. However, I feel like if you start chasing money, you're always going to chase it, and the money's going to run faster than you can.
Yeah.
So
that
if
makes
you're
sense.
trying to go after it, you never know when that next trend's going to pick up and when it's going to fall.
Sure. Okay, so are there any red flags for you to avoid when researching a niche, so you don't waste your time on with the niche that doesn't really work for you?
Anything that doesn't have large enough margins, because if you have low margins, then you're really not going to make any money at the end of the day when you're running ads. And what's going to happen is you're going to just be working nonstop for dollars, and it's not worth it at that point. If you have a high enough margin, then you're good to go, because then you can reinvest in your business, you have extra side money, things like that, and you'll be able to grow as well. But when you have too little money, you can't grow at all.
Sure, that's a approach. So I think that would save our audience a lot of trial and error. So once you have nailed the niche, the next step is to pick the right products for your niche, right? So how would you describe the products to offer in your Etsy shop, and what make a product a good fit for a niche?
So if you can offer something different that a lot of people don't offer, that is where you're going to really stand out. So things, like I said earlier, a lot of the products that you guys have is something I've never even seen. One thing I always tell people to stay away from ornaments, and that's just things that I said, but you guys actually have dream catchers. On top of the dream catchers, you have ornaments that are a circle that looks like 3D, as you put a customized picture in it. That right there is amazing, because I have not seen that anywhere. And in addition to that, the Dreamcatcher, you could sell that all year round, which that right there is setting you apart. And that's what you really want to do. In addition to, having good pictures, mock-ups, and, have that, create that emotion when somebody finds you, clicks on you, and is actually going through your listing. You want that emotional connection, but really you want to offer things that nobody else currently has.
Sure, be first in the market, right? And yeah, you do right. One thing is that our sun catcher can be sold all year round. And
Yeah.
well, you've mentioned that the ornaments, right? Christmas niche. I think are there any certain products that you found like perform better in a specific niche compared to others?
I mean, it all just similar and depends on what they're actually searching for. That's the cool part. It's the customer that makes that, not us. So when we look, we're just kind of hoping. And then once that customer starts pulling that trigger or more, now we know exactly what products they like, what style and then we know to replicate that and make more.
Sure. Is there any way that we can know beforehand what customers want before we launch it? Because, for example, if I'm a seller, I don't really want to list like 10 different products in my store, right? And then nobody gonna buy it. And then that would give me the idea that the 10 products would be a bad idea. So I need to change to another 10 other products. You get what I mean, right? So
No, I completely understand that. Yeah, I mean, if you research it, look on Amazon, which they have a huge amount of sales, so you can just see what they're selling and replicate that in Etsy. Look at some other sellers; you could do that as well. But beyond that, I mean, it really is determining on the factor of the customer. But that's the great thing about print on demand is we have that availability. When I had my physical business, if I was selling items and they didn't sell, I was kind of SOL, I had to throw out all that product. Whereas with print on demand, even though it may sound frustrating that I launched these products, now I have to launch other ones. Oh, what the heck is going on? At least you didn't have to buy those products.
Sure.
Because I bought hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff that literally ended up in the trash. And that's something with the print on demand business that you don't have to worry about. You can just create it and you just are in charge of that, customer service.
Sure. Well, that's the great take, Josh. Since we are mentioning print on demand, I have question I need to ask Mia, if you don't mind. Okay,
Really?
so with
Go
those
for it.
products that Josh mentioned before, like ornament, sun catcher, we do know that you have that.
Yeah.
Well, those are all in the merchandise catalog, right?
Yes, many of products that you mentioned, we already have it on our catalog, like sun catchers and ornament. We have it here.
Sure. And since we mentioned Etsy as a platform
Yeah.
for decoration and handmade products, talk us through the selections for home decoration and accessory you have.
Yeah. When it comes to decor and accessory, it's truly merchandise strongest product categories. We do have two factories in Hanoi, Vietnam that specialize in producing a wide range of home decor items. We offer nearly 300 home decor product in these categories, and from poster, canvas, pillow, doormat to acrylic plate, and small decorative items like ornament or keychains, and that meet the diverse demand for Etsy sellers.
Sure, these products certainly are fun, but are any of those products in you just mentioned is in demand right now? What other products are selling like hotcakes right now?
Actually, most of our products are consistently in high demand throughout the years. But if I had to pick some hot date item, those standout products must make the list. The first one I have to mention is ornament. According to, let me share this screen. Let me share our slide. Can you see it, Josh?
Yep,
Can
I can
everybody
see
see the screen? Let us know in the comment if you don't see it or if there's any concerns, yeah? Guys, we have a really long agenda today, so any question, I'll just gonna take it and then ask Josh by the end of the session, okay?
Okay, let's start it with our home decor. The first one I want to mention is ornament. And as you can see from our save finger shown on the slide, we cannot deny the attractiveness of ornament. And merchandise offer a wide range of ornament in different size, shape, material with a unique effect like hologram. Here I have an ornament with hologram effect here. Can you see it? And sun catcher.
The big thing is, I just want to really point out is that the ornaments and the sun catchers that you offer are just completely unique and different. That's what's really going to stand out during the Christmas holiday as well, because it's something that I've really never seen before. And, it's not the same old thing that's just everybody is posting and everybody's trying to sell. And that's where you really, capture that audience. You can dominate a market by having something like this.
Sure. I mean, they are just still like ornaments or like normal sun catcher, right? But they have just a little bit of the twist, like the hologram effect here.
Yeah.
It kind of stand out.
Yeah. And during the end of this year holiday season, this type of product is always among bestseller product on Etsy platform. And do you know, Ming, on peak day, I received over 30,000 order of ornament for production.
30,000
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And great option. Another great option to consider is kitchen practical item. Cool accessory for easy hanging.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone have at least one. Do you have it?
Keychain, I don't really have any. I mean,
Keychain.
products are fun. Not for me though, but I'm
Yeah.
sure that the customer out there, they all have keys and stuff. Because anybody and everyone has keys, right?
Easy to buy, right?
Yeah.
And the acrylic plate. Do you know this trend, Joe? Acrylic plate with 3D effect has been gained a lot of attention recently. From Father's Day, Mother's Day, Teacher's Day to job need, pet lover, or even baby gift. The design style on our custom shape acrylic plate is dominating on Etsy seriously. Let's go to a short video about this amazing product. Okay, so now another item is stained glass and catcher for window hanging. And thanks to their eye-catching and unique effect, this product gives our seller the chance to unleash their creativity with stunning design.
Yeah. Let me feel the.
Okay, you can hold it for me, and I will show our seller another.
Do you guys film all this by yourself?
Yeah, we have our media team with professional, skill to give our seller professional video and photo to put sale.
Sure.
And we will
Sorry.
take to another slide.
Yep. Just another one because
Yeah.
we have a really long.
But I have a professional R&D team to consistently explore new ideas and bring to the market unique and interesting product. And we have it here, let me see, custom shape spring acrylic standee, which is one of our new release product. You can hold it.
How do you use this one? Where do you put it? On the car, right? On the dashboard of the car?
Yeah, it's perfect display for the car, the dash, or cell, on wherever you can put it.
Sure.
I wish I had one here right now so I could play with it.
Did you see it before, Doc?
Show us your.
No, I wish I had one here so I could play it.
Okay, but you had one, right?
I don't have one
You
personally.
don't have
no.
one. Okay.
But if I did, I would be playing with it right now.
We'll try. We'll send you one after the session. And for those of you who have just tuned in, we are just talking about the ornaments and the accessories and home decorations on Etsy. Okay. Are the selection okay? Like right now, the slide's done, right?
Yeah, it's done for home decor.
Okay. So
by the way, the acrylic plaque, so many people want that and ask for that, and nobody knows where to even get it from. Right here, this is where you get it from. So like that's I noticed when I was going through your product catalog, like that was one thing that really stood out. And then even right down here, where it's got, like I was mentioning earlier with the teachers, huge thing right there. The keychains, I mentioned that, all these things are just impressive and amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the audience who have just tuned in, yeah, you heard Josh. So this is where you go for all things print on demand, yeah? Okay, so moving on. Well, we talk about ornaments, we talk about keychain, we talk about home decoration, we talk about accessories.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about apparel on Etsy, George? I mean, I'm talking about t-shirt, I'm talking about sweater, I'm talking about hoodies, caps in general. Are they good products to sell on Etsy?
It's a hard product just because there is so many, and that's where you have to stand out, which, you have a huge product catalog that offers more than just shirts. One thing that I really saw was a lot of tank tops and even jerseys, which is huge because if you can sell jerseys as a B2B to teams out there, soccer team, basketball team, things like that, you can make a killing. And a good amount of money where you don't have to physically do it yourself. A lot of them teams, they're looking for, trying to find things and trying to find good prices and designs that they want to apply to, and a lot of people are denying them. So that's really something that could set them apart.
Sure. Well, back to Mia. So, Josh mentioned jersey and tank top, which are products that stand out for the sellers, right? So, you do have that, right? And you can, support the sellers on Etsy with those products, right?
Yeah, which I do offer a tank top. Yeah, it's like 2D product, right? And why classic 2D t-shirt has become quite saturated, you see. And in recent years, on overprinted product have been get quite popularity in both Vietnamese and global Etsy sellers. And your product, allow for fully customizable design that cover the entire product surface, offering unique and eye-catching appeal for the customer.
Well, that's really nice. The thing that you mentioned about,
On
the
overprinted.
overprint. So, what is that, and what are the selection for that?
As I mentioned, on overprinted is a product that you can cut, you can fully cover your design to entire product surface. Yeah, like it's not a certain printing area, it's an over the shirt.
I still don't. Well, just do you have any kind of like samples or any kind of like, for us to easier to imagine, easier to.
Let me show it on our slide, on my
Sure.
slide. Okay, now we start with our AOP product.
Sure.
I will begin with our summer lineup, highlighting 3 of our best-selling AOP products. The first one is Hawaiian shirt. It's always the best choice for vacation wear and summer trip. And I'm surely our Hawaiian shirt, the cost and the quality will surely satisfy you and your customer. And if you are targeting sporty needs or casual wear market, you can consider our polo shirt and baseball jersey. You can see.
I'm just going to grab one just right here because
Okay.
I see you guys have it right here.
And you can see on the slide that this product attract 2.3 million views and achieve quite impressive sales performance. Oh, I have here How was it? And
And this
this
one is the jersey, right?
yeah, baseball jersey.
Can I try it on?
Sure.
I'll try it on to show you guys how much of a hit that would be. Okay.
I want to try it, but it's not fit for me.
Just go on.
See, that looks good on you. I like
Yeah,
it.
thanks, Josh.
He look more handsome in this jersey, right?
Okay.
It fits perfect.
Yeah.
So, you mean when you do like a normal t-shirt or like jersey, when you go onto for the common products, you can just get your design on the surface, the front or the back of the product, right? But with
Yeah.
the all over print here, you can print like that's the whole t-shirt. You can cover your design for the whole t-shirt, right? That's the all over print.
Yeah. And as the season change, so do customer need. And when winter season arrive, our AOP winter collection become best sellers, especially around holiday like Christmas or New Year's. And we have here our AOP sweater, Swiss sweatshirts, and hoodie. Um, and you can see they have a huge quantity of sales. And of course, we cannot leave out with our pajama set, a perfect sleepwear for both kids, youth, and adults.
For Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All
gift
year
for
round, yeah.
Valentine's.
I mean, really, you could sell it during anything, especially Christmas. This is a huge one for Christmas for family photos.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was just thinking like, are people wearing pajama during Christmas? I was like,
It's
Yeah.
cool.
okay. Well, thank you, Mia. That's wonderful insights. Well, moving on. Well, choosing the right product is just half the battle, but they need to stand out visually. Like George just said, everything you do need to stand out, right? Which brings us to the art of creating great designs. Yep, we are coming back to the design that we have discussed. Well, what's the process of creating, oscillating design that resonate with your target audience, George?
So the big thing is once you figure out what they like, you have to just double down on it and replicate it over and over. And it's really the style that they like. It's not necessarily the design itself. It's just the style. Say if minimal text across the chest. That's a huge one, right? So you would just replicate that with maybe more sarcasm, little uplifting mottos, things like that, and go from there. If that's something that's selling for you. Now, some people sell where it's a text at the top, a little image in the middle, and then text at the bottom. You would just keep replicating that over and over with different designs, different styles in there, but literally it would still stay the same with a text on the top, image in the middle, text on the bottom, because that's what they're gravitating towards.
Sure. I want just to talk about the trends and the evergreen design as well, because I noticed there are some evergreen designs that can be used like year over time, right? Well, like can we use these follow trends for designs? Like, I mean, when you go on TikTok, there are millions of TikTokers. They have creating trends and everything. We can follow the trends on TikTok to apply for the design on t-shirts and on your products on Etsy. Is that a good direction to go to?
It's a good thing to grab instant cash and get money. And then from there, if you could switch it over to the evergreen, you'll be able to stick and stay in a nice, trend where it's not up and down. So that's a great way to grab some different things and then jump on the TikTok, make a TikTok of yourself, grab that customer base in. And then once they make one purchase, now hit them with some email marketing to bring them back each and every single time that you're offering something else. So it's a good way to grab some fast cash, get customers in there and see that. But you really should try to end it with that evergreen. And like you said, most trends do tend to stay as an evergreen niche. So like, you know, mama shirts and, you know, when they're going after grandma and stuff like that, where it's like unique, or even a pillowcase, anything in relevance to that, where you're going after giving it as a gift, you can't go wrong.
Sure. Well, you mentioned that, well, turning the trend into the evergreen, right? So from the quick cash, with one design that is following the trends, how can we make that into an evergreen niche, evergreen design?
So, let me think. Like when I think trends and stuff like that, it'd be like, oh, you know, what took off huge recently was like the election and all that. Well, now it's gone. So now everybody's kind of scrambling, trying to find something new. Anybody that only sold that item. So in that case, if you were doing that, then you would want to have different options and not it be about election per se, but just in general of funny sarcasm related to it.
Sure. Okay. Well, I love how you
That's
broke
how
that
that's how
down.
you can that's how you would be able to transition it, really, is anything like that, you know? You have to think like the memes happen all the time. So if you go after a meme, that meme is going to disappear. But what the meme was about won't disappear, because what made you laugh is always going to be there, even if that meme itself is gone.
Okay, so you know about memes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how you broke that down, Josh. Well, do you design everything yourself, or your team design everything yourself, or do you outsource them? Or even, you know, with the AI trading really, you know, popular right now, do you use AI?
So I use AI a lot. I love how easy it is. Before that, I really suck at designs.
Yeah.
So I would outsource it a lot. I would try to make it, but eventually I'd get frustrated with it. And when I make things, it just wouldn't turn out the way I did liked. So I would actually outsource most of it. Now with AI, I mean, you know, I could draw something and my drawings are not that good on a piece of paper. I even launched a video of me drawing something and everybody laughed at it. But either way, AI was able to replicate it and actually make it into something, which allows so many people now to design whatever they have in their head and put that on any sort of product, which is amazing.
Sure. Well, for the audience out there, if you know, you're not really good at designing or drawing yourself, you still can become a successful seller like
With
Josh
AI.
with AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to see how bad I draw, but it's not good. It's not pretty by any means.
sure. Okay. Well, how do you ensure that your designs comply with Etsy policy and, you know, align with customer expectations?
As long as you're not hitting any copyright laws or trademark laws, you're pretty good. You know, that's just the main thing that you have to stay away from. Besides that, you know, Etsy's pretty, they have a lot of things that are kind of spicy, as some people could say out there. And that's what people go there for, because they know that they can have those sorts of things on their items and ask for it as personalization and get it.
Sure. And well, coming back on the AI, which kind of, like, you know, do you have any specific AI tools that you can, you know, just give us some names here so the audience can know which one to
Yeah.
go to?
So I love ChatGPT. I call it Chatty, so I love Chatty. You know, you have Mid-Journey. In addition to that, X Design, I've used that before in the past. It's great for having backgrounds on there. And then A Cool, I've used that before as well to make videos of myself, as well as, you know, showcasing products. And I've been recently using this one that's called Abacus, and Abacus actually has everything all in one for I think it's like $10 a month, so that you have access to a bunch of different AI tools, where you have Kling and you have, you know, Midjourney, Ideogram, all that in just one setting, which is amazing. So I've been messing around with that a lot more.
But that would just take you around like $50 a month, I think, right? $100 a month.
Everything that I have is about, you know, $50, $60,
Yeah,
all of it,
ballpark.
all
Yeah,
of that
yeah.
together.
Sure, sure, sure. Well, thank you for sharing such the details and inspiring, you know, AI tools and everything. Well, let's just dive deep into your story. Well, um, you have some amazing success on Etsy store, right? So just take us through one specific success story that you have, maybe a product or a niche that took off for you, from the researching and finding a niche, finding a product, finding a supplier. Tell us a story about that.
So this is the best way to say like this is what customers choose is I had one product, and this is when I had my physical business, that it was poppy flower, and the thing would sell nonstop. It was a leather sheet poppy flower 8 by 11. I would sell 20 or 30 of them a day. It was very hard to keep in stock, so I wanted to replicate that success. So I created 20 other designs just like it. However, when I launched those 20 other designs, only one other one sold on a consistent basis, which means the other 19 to the customer was crap. Even though I thought they all looked the same, the customer is what chooses what's going to buy, what's going to sell. That is something that a lot of people need to understand there, is that your customer is going to choose it. And as you keep replicating these, and you may get a little upset, it's like, when is something going to take off? The one that you don't expect to take off is usually the one that does take off.
Sure, that's always the unexpected, yeah.
Yeah, and then, obviously struggles of just always keeping your head up, and a lot of people, they like to look at their competition. And I like to tell people, don't look at your competition. The competition's grass, you want to look at it to get some understanding, but you don't want to look at it constantly, because their grass is greener because you're looking over the fence at it. Your grass is going to die because you're not watering it. So stop looking at their grass, start concentrating on your designs, your customers, your products, and everything like that, and offering more, and you'll succeed 10 times faster.
Sure. But if you don't look at the competitions, or if you don't look at the market, and if you just analyze your own market and your own design, everything from your own, right? How do you know that what will keep you in, what would keep your products in demand, and what would keep your designs in demand? I mean, you
Yeah,
need to
no, I
research
completely
the
understand what you're
market, right?
saying. So really, just in the beginning, that's when you would do that. So in the beginning, you want to look at your customers and see what they're doing wrong, not what they're doing right. Find out what they're doing wrong, and then take over that way. Because what that customer, what that company's doing, and the customers are complaining about, if you can fix that void of what they're complaining about and make it into a positive, now you're going to have their customers, and you're going to, take over the market easily. So at first, that's what you should do, is just look at, hey, this is where they are. This is where I want to be. What are they doing wrong? And fix what they're doing wrong, and take that market completely.
Sure. Okay. Thank you for sharing such a detailed and inspiring case study of yours. Well, I think the schedule is really tight for now. So before we wrap up, let's open the floor to some questions. Are you ready, George? Well, I have got some. Well, we've got some great questions coming in from our audience. Well, there's a lot. I'm just going to pick out, yeah, guys, because we don't really have enough resource to answer all of your questions for today. So first one.
Yeah, a lot of questions from our audience.
Okay, so this one, how do you find winning products and identify profitable niches with real research?
So one tool I like to use a lot of is Everbee, because it allows you to see, even though it's mainly estimates, it allows you to see what's working, what's not. So you're able to, click on maybe one of your competitors and see if they sold something in the past 30 days or 60 days, and then see their entire store and see what's selling and what's not. That's a huge thing to do. And then you can search up based off of, maybe you want to sell something specific. You can actually write in those keywords, find all those, see who your top competitors are, see where they're, ranking. Are they going up, down? When are they selling? When's their high moments? When's their low moments? And then the biggest one is, like I said earlier, is finding out what they're not doing correctly by looking at their reviews. So that's one of the tools that I utilize a lot of.
Sure.
We received another question. Do you have any good marketing tips?
So marketing wise, it's all about stopping the scroll. People scroll very fast, and a majority of people actually use their cell phones now. So you're looking at about 68% are using their cell phones when they're shopping on Etsy. It's a smaller screen. We scroll fast. So you have to stop that scroll. And if you have something that's literally going to jump out the screen and slap them in the face, that's how you know that you got them. But that's only half the battle. Once you grab them in there, you still have to sell them, which is where it comes to that emotional connection of having lifestyle photos. Put them in that shoe of that person that's holding that product or with that product. Because as soon as they start visually seeing them with that product, that's where you sell them. Like for instance, a tote bag. If you did a tote bag and you put a tote bag on a beach, it sounds so stupid, but that tote bag instantly, when the customer sees it, starts thinking about vacation. And can they take a vacation? Maybe, maybe not. But either way, they start envisioning themselves on a vacation. So now they're thinking that way, not about what product they're looking at. They're thinking about what they can put inside that tote bag and what they're going to bring to that beach. And now they click buy.
Sure, that's fantastic. So,
Yeah, thank you.
what's the best strategy? What's the best strategy for managing product listings? Focusing on a single niche with many designs, or testing multiple niches? And is it better to start with a general Etsy store or a niche specific one? That's a really great question here, guys.
That is, and that is a huge one that a lot of people have debates on. I am very niche specific. I believe that you should go after that niche because you then understand who your customer is and you can really dial in on that customer. After that, I mean, the rest is easy because you know how they search, what they're looking for, and how to target them. If you want to go outside and have multiple products, I really would suggest, opening it, say, Shopify, something like that, which you could still do, which is great, but then you're allowed to have multiple options, multiple products. Whereas on Etsy, you really don't have the availability. You're kind of stuck with the platform that they give you and the structure that they give you. You have nowhere of, moving things around and making it look the way you want to look. So say if somebody's searching for, sweatpants and t-shirts and all that, if they're looking for, all these things and they're looking in the summertime, but you mainly have just sweatshirts are all on your first page, they're going to leave because of that. Whereas on a website, then that's how you could structure it. Things, it's just a way that you want to really direct it towards what they're looking for on Etsy.
So from that, one specific niche, specific store, then you can expand the store onto another niches. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, and then expand that into, something that you have more control over visually.
Sure. Okay. I have another question here. So on Etsy, it's not you open the. I'm sorry. I have another question here. How do you effectively handle negative customer reviews, especially subjective ones, to ensure customer satisfaction?
So I usually always reach out to them directly and try to resolve that as quickly as possible. I believe customer service is one of the biggest reasons on why I am where I am today, is because as soon as a customer would reach out to me through a message, I would respond back immediately. And if they sent me something negative or were having they weren't happy with that product, I tried to help them as much as possible, whether it was to, give them a partial refund, send them a replacement, apologize profusely. That's the most important thing. So when you do get that negative feedback, especially as a small store, it's so important to try to turn that around, which what they do is they normally will run to their review. They'll just throw that on there because they think that you're not going to respond because they're so used to big companies not responding to them. But you're a little company, so you're going to respond. Then they feel valued because you actually responded, and they say, whoa, hold on, what happened? Now you're offering something, saying, hey, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Let me, send you a partial review, or let me do this for you. Now they feel that value and they go, you know what? I'm going to change my review because I've never had anybody reach out to me before and offer something.
Sure. Okay, so we need to make it up for them somehow, right? So to get the review back up on.
Yeah, and as long as you don't comment on their negative review, they could still change it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I have another question here. How? I'm sorry. What's your strategy for consistently uploading new listings and managing listing volume over time?
So this one just comes with time because you get down in a rhythm. You know, it's something when you first do it, it's very grueling. It takes you forever. You feel like it's never going to upload. You feel like it's never going to end. And then you upload another one and it becomes easier and easier. And then you get into a rhythm. So really, there is no overall strategy to do it easier or better. There's a lot of tools out there that help you, you know, with mock-ups and uploading things in, you know, bulk uploaders. But overall, it really comes to just learning it over time.
Sure. And I know that one listing on Etsy will be active for 4 months. Is that correct? Well, after
Yeah,
4 months,
3 months. Yeah.
3 months, right? So after 3 months, that would be inactive. So how do you keep track of the new product and the product that are already active? And then they will deactivate the Etsy will deactivate the listing after 3 months. How do you keep track of all your products that you know new list and the one that you have listed before?
So the great thing is if you have enough stock, it's going to automatically renew over and over, and you're not going to have any issues. So as long as you go in and do that, you're set on that, you know, front.
Sure.
But I mean, if you use things like make.com, which automate a lot of it, you can actually automate that and send it right to an Excel sheet. And then that Excel sheet would send you an email when something goes low. I know that that's extremely difficult for like somebody just starting out, but you know, I plan on covering that myself to teach people how to automate that process so that it doesn't become a manual process, because it used to be a manual before AI.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think we have time for one last one. Um, well,
I
do you want
get
to take
one
that one?
question for me. Beside the wide range of interesting products, which aspect that merchant can have as a seller? Yeah, a question for me. I will answer it. Yeah, besides offering a wide range of product, merchant also support as a seller by ensuring high product quality with strict quality control, fast product, and stable shipping to protect your Etsy account. And our media team provide professional photo and videos, while R&D team works closely with seller to develop new product. Our seller will get dedicated one-on-one support whenever you need help.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. So, your R&D team will help the seller to find a product, right? Find a niche.
Yeah.
And your media team will provide the images and the mock-ups, just photos and videos for marketing, right? And the seller's responsibility just to upload the products and do the marketing.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
We will
Yeah,
get
that's
that.
great, guys. Okay.
Yeah, making everything easy over there.
Yeah. Okay. So we are your AI. Okay. So
we are your AI.
Well, I think we have time for one more question here. So how do you Josh, how do you manage shipping times and customer expectations, especially when using overseas production or dealing with tracking updates?
So the big thing is to always keep that customer in the know. As long as you let them know when it's going to come, and even keeping them up to date if something is delayed, as soon as you find out that that item is delayed, message them immediately and let them know, and you know, apologize, say, hey, listen, I'm looking into this. This is the expected date now. If you have any questions, please let me know. And they appreciate you being proactive in that case. But as long as you have clear, this is when it's going to be delivered, this is when it's going to be shipped, this is when you're going to receive, all those things in place, and they're aware of it, and you keep up with that completely on your end, the shipping time isn't so important, especially on personalized items. If it's something that's mass produced, then sure, they're going to expect it probably as soon as they click that buy button, they want to walk to their door and grab it. But these are personalized items that, it does take time, and they are very understanding of that. And if there is anything that you could do to make them a little bit more at ease, always go about doing that. Just letting them know, hey, even if it's being delivered that day, if you can message them and say, this is out for delivery today, let me know if you have any questions. Not, let me know if you have any issues. Don't write that part. You say, let me know if you have any questions. That's it.
It's all about customer service, right?
Customer service is huge, and a lot of people fail there.
Sure. Okay. I have one question. It's from me for you. Okay. So how to scale on Etsy? If you, for example, if you have a store, right? You do have sales. You do have sales, but just a few sales per week, let's just say. How to scale that store onto a, like $1 million sales like you?
So say if I'll use pets as a perfect example. A lot of people out there have they're really geared towards dogs. So if you had dogs and you're trying to show dogs, you would offer more breeds. Then from there, expand it into cats. Then from there, expand it into, I don't know, a pig, a lion, all these different things, because it would still be the same core audience that you're going after. You're just offering now more availability. And because if you try to grab them in their email, that's where you can really set yourself apart, because if you can get their email and them to opt in, now you're going to be able to message them every time you come up with a new design. Whether or not they like that design is up to them, but either way, you could say, listen, I just launched this one. You know that they like pets and you know who they are, so you're sending them an email and, kind of hoping that they're going to make that purchase. You can also add scarcity in that way of saying, this is a limited edition design. This design's only going to be available for 24 or 48 hours. And then after that, cut it off. But what that does is it creates that scarcity that they really need to hurry up and get that item. And it's that FOMO effect, the fear of missing out. Are they going to get it? Are they not going to get it? Is it going to sell out beforehand? And that sells 10 times more than somebody that actually wants it. They'll just buy it just to get it, just to win.
Sure, that's great tips. That's fantastic tips, Josh. Well, that's for the scale. So what if a new one, a newcomer, just start out? Well, for the majority of sellers, I think that they already have an idea, a solid concept in them, their head, in their mind, that they want to choose a niche that works for them, right? They already have an idea. But what if a newcomer doesn't really have any kind of idea? How would they, come up with an idea of a concept, or, what niche would they go into? You get what I mean, right?
No, yeah. A lot of people, they want to sell something or they want to make money, but they're not exactly sure where to start or what to even do. In that case, I mean, the best thing to do is just, that's the lovely part about POD. And, print on demand is that you have that availability to switch things if you need to. If I went, before I even found print on demand, I went into leather and I was selling leather. It's not something that I did. I worked for Samsung for so many years, and all my businesses that I launched were tech industry. So it was completely left field for me. Now, if that would have failed, I would have been out a lot of money and it would have sucked. So that's the difference with POD. If something's not selling or it's not working for you or you don't like it, you can switch that product, which is great. So the best thing to do is to go out there and get started. You may know where to begin or where to go, but just throw something together and maybe it'll take off.
Yeah, just start and then you find the result later, right?
Exactly. Build that perfection later.
Sure. Okay. I think the time for us is And for today, you've dropped so much.
One thing I want to mention before we get off of here is one item in the catalog that nobody else offers is accessories. That's for Father's Day and Christmas. So definitely anybody watching this right now, because no other personalization on leather accessories like merchandise where you can really blow up, especially fathers.
Sure, guys.
Or boyfriends.
Catalog on merchandise.com. We do offer many other services that you deem good enough for your niche. We can do that for you. Okay, so you have dropped so much wisdom for today, and thank you for being so generous with your knowledge. While we wrapped up, are there any kind of final wisdom, any kind of word of advice for like aspiring print-on-demand sellers out there?
Don't give up. A lot of people go and they put a timeline on something. They expect something to take off immediately because they see all these random success stories and things like that. If people knew the struggles that I went through in the beginning, then you would see it wasn't all how everybody makes it seem to be. But as long as you keep pushing forward and you just keep going one step at a time each and every single day, you are going to succeed. You are better than 99% of people out there that are going to quit. No matter what, just keep going, keep pushing forward, and you will get there.
That's like couldn't have said it better myself. God. Okay, thank you again, Josh, for joining us today. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. Well, we have to let you guys go because time is limited today. But if you are looking to level up or just starting out with print on demand on Etsy, remember, swingbymerchandise.com. We have our support team ready to support you ASAP.
And if you have any questions about our product and services, feel free to contact us. I'm more than happy to support you.
Remember, all things print on demand, we've got you covered. Thank you guys. See ya.
See you.
Your choice. Sell more.